We're gonna have what I would call kind of a zoomer and doomer day today. What I mean by that is that I've gathered together a bunch of zoomer stocks, which sometimes I call permarisers, that they just seem indomitable. No matter what the market's doing, they just keep muscling their way higher. The other chart, which is a little bigger, is the doomers, which is more my wheelhouse. NVIDIA continues to greenify the world here. Looks like another lifetime high close. We're getting near yesterday's high on an intraday basis, but yeah, almost certainly a new closing high, well over $2.5 trillion. I read this one company alone is worth more than the entire stock market of Germany, which is saying something. Naturally, this is flowing into SMH, which itself is looking also to a lifetime high. And this is also flowing to a little bit more diluted extent to the cubes, which also are looking to a lifetime high. So NVIDIA was sort of raison d'etre for the week and is finishing with a bang, not a whimper. One earnings item, because it is very quiet in Earningsville, that did not do anything in NVIDIA like at all, is Intuit. Intuit has been, of course, a sensation for many, many years. It peaked, kind of like Tesla did, in the autumn of 2021. And it got up to around almost $600. Around 670. What did it peak at? The tippity top, 705. So it's not that much lower than it was. It's also about a seventh of its value from that peak. A bit of a disappointment there, slipping 8.5%. Really very little to talk about for obvious reasons for earnings. So let's get to the whole zoomer doomer bit. We're going to start off, this particular one is a bit of a doomer, and we're going to go zooming in a sec. This is a bit of a curious one because this is Unity software. This is very hot software for kind of VR design. And as you can see, it is not doing well. The curious thing for me is this is a gorgeous top, but it's at the bottom of the chart. So that's a bit of a challenge. Does it mean anything to have a top when it's at the bottom? It seems almost like a paradox. And I still think it does. Because just as lifetime highs tend to beget new lifetime highs, so too, I believe, lifetime lows tend to do the same thing. Because, and I say this over and over, the brain will play tricks on you. You'll look at the chart and be like, oh, it's near the bottom. Yes, that's because the scale of the y-axis is anchored to the minimum and maximum of the price series. But the bottom's not 20, bottom's 0. And so, yeah, you can, a little more honest way to portray this would be along kind of these lines. All that vapor beneath there. Yeah, Unity is down about 1%, but it's got this magnificent topping pattern on it. So yeah, even though it's still at the bottom, worth noting. The zoomers, Deckers, DECK, blasting above $1,000 for the first time. And you don't have to be making artificial intelligence GPUs to set the world on fire. They make boots and shoes, outdoor. Deckers Outdoor Corporation. They make leather boots you slip on, but they're doing something right, because you can see this is just a sensational performer and a big gap up today, lifetime high. Costco, same idea. I mean, there was a time when this stock was nothing to write home about. Back in the 80s, just kind of meandered around, up and down, up and down, up and down, for whatever reason. And I guess this would be a great business school study case. They really got their act together starting about almost 30 years ago. And they have not looked back. It has been relentless, sounds very negative, but I can't think of a better word right now. Just unstoppable. Another lifetime high for Costco. Just an amazing business success story. Eli Lilly. And as you can see, these aren't, what we've got so far, boots, big box retailers, a drug maker. They're not all these are all semiconductor companies. These are from all kinds of different sectors. But these folks here, bullish base, bullish base, bullish base, the last one of which has produced just this kind of endless series of scallops higher. So looks like probably a lifetime high close on that one as well. Abercrombie and Fitch. Another stock which for literally decades was just crazy and very violent in its behavior. However, for the past couple of years at least, it's been a very strong performer. Once again, lifetime high close on this, but it's the steadiness of this month after month after month, which is so extraordinary. Of course, the longevity of it isn't anything compared to, say, Eli Lilly or Costco. This is more recent. lesser known VST. It's interesting how these metamorph really directionless and almost cyclic to superstars, like so. And this one, this is just itching for a saucer pattern right here, like so, like so, like so. There. Hey, it wasn't so hard. So you can see how that base preceded this magnificent rise. And the last one of these superstars here is Modine, I guess, like Matthew. And once again, we've got top plunge, beautiful top plunge, but since then, like so. So this has moved from about $7 to over $100. So yeah, that's their bullish Mount Rushmore there. Before we get to the doomers, we'll go to something that's kind of in between, which was a zoomer and has been kind of a doomer since then for the past 3 years. But Tesla, usually look at this every day. It's taken a bit of a holiday, but let's just take one look at it. It does seem to be stabilizing here. These Fibonacci's have been providing good support, and of late, it got kind of battered down. It's starting to turn around here. So this seems to have found good support above this trio of fib patterns. But I think it could be years before it really breaks out of these broad ranges. Medium term, I would say the peak on this is probably no higher than around 207 in the weeks and even months ahead. Okay, now we get to the doomers, and I'll kind of go quickly because not only are there more of them, don't have much time. So I'll just kind of mention each symbol as we go along. Here's AON, topping pattern, top of a very long channel. APA Corporation, really close to what would be a very important breakdown underneath that blue horizontal support line. Cleveland Cliffs, you can see the various tops here. Jury's still out if this will finish or not. It's got some work to do to finish that. 5-9 FIBN. It's been range bound for a while, but if it fails that range, that'd be pretty serious trouble. Greenfields GPRE. And these patterns tend to speak for themselves. It's pretty obvious. They tend to be like pink hemispheres that you can see. Harley Davidson, HOG. One of the cooler ticker symbols out there. Box Inc. Like so. Denny's, DENN. This has already failed its own support. You can see just how things can really accelerate once an important price zone is breached, because Denny's has really started to sink fast. United Parcel Service, UPS. This is down today about 0.75%, getting closer and closer to the bottom of that tremendous tinted zone there, which I think would open up the prospect of a move all the way down, perhaps as low as this green line. Neighbors Industries, NBR. We've already had this enormous top here, which led to this plunge. In a fractal sense, we've got this smaller, more recent top like so. Paycom, PAYC. Kind of the same idea where we've got this big top that's already expressed itself, and now it's working on this miniature version. And the last of these, Stericycle, SRCL, same idea. Here's this one here, and here's a repeat at a lower level of a similar pattern. So that's the end of the doomers. One peek at oil, as this is still holding its own with respect to the prospect of rallying. So we zoom in on USO here. Here is the base, and we got close to busting into it, but it did hold. And it's up now 1.16%. So as long as it doesn't violate, I would say this low here, which is 73.88, this still looks all right for an oil rally. And the last chart, just to wrap the week up, is this critter, which you've seen with increasing frequency lately. And just to re-explain this, it is simply a percentage from 0 to 1, which would be 100, of what percentage of stocks in the S&P 500 are above their 200-day moving average. It's simply a way to express market health. Because if you look at something like, say, Costco, like we were earlier, it's probably above its 200-day moving average all the time. And the more stocks that behave like that, the stronger the market as a whole is. And so you can see over the course of decades here that we plunged to like almost close to zero, or like everything's below the 200-day, or as high as, in the 90s. And as with stocks, you can get situations where they sort of top out and fall, and that's what to watch for. And so this is what's going on. The market's green at the moment, but this is a slow-moving critter here because it's a derivative of the derivative. And should we break this pink zone here, which could be weeks off, if ever, then that would imply a very important failure of overall market health.